Hey guys, I'm back for another video. This one will just be a short tier list for the current and the upcoming patch, as the only change that AD carry is going to be receiving in the patches is this one. So just as we all expected, Riot Games is bringing the crit ADCs back with a lot of recent buffs, namely the Untitled, Infinity Edge, and Last Whisper, and this changes the AD carry priority, in my opinion, a big bit. I just want to mention that this tier list is not representing the actual strength of the champions, but rather the ratio of skill required to play them to how good they are in the meta. So it's most useful for people in and below master tier. However, you should always play what you think is fun. The tier list is just for anyone who wants to get a slight edge with their pick. Starting off with Ashe has recently received many buffs on pretty much all her abilities, and combined with the crit item buff, she's way too overpowered now. The amount of utility she has, combined with her damage output, is just too ridiculous right now. Riot has already announced that they're going to nerf her, but the nerf, I don't think will knock her off from S tier. I'm also planning on releasing an Ashe guide next week, so stay tuned for that. Next, we have Jinx. This one is pretty self-explanatory. Super popular champion. Arcane actress. Riot's incentive to keep her viable is as high as possible. Champ is not too OP and competitive, as she is easy to shut down with a proper draft. So Riot is just really comfortable, I think, keeping her with really good numbers because, you know, it works. It sells them skins, right? Cork and Ezreal, they get their own tier. I believe they're as strong or even stronger than Jinx or Ashe, but they're slightly harder to pull off. Both require you to be permanently willing to fight and all in the enemy. Hence, I'll place them just a little bit below. In the next tier, we have champions that are very strong in the current meta with a slight nuance to them. They are not as versatile and not generally always good as the tiers above them, you know, like the champions above them, the S tier and A tier, they're kind of always good, in my opinion. Like, very rarely there will be bad picks in a game. Starting with Tristana. Tristana is another offender of the crit item buffs, synergizing well with Yuntali, super good when paired with Engage, very mediocre with range supports, so keep that in mind. Draven also very strong. Bloodthirster being a very strong first item on him makes him super oppressive in early laning. MF is similar to Draven in a way, strong early laning, paired with BT first item. MF also works really well when paired with good setup champs in other roles, such as Amumu in jungle or Nautilus or Rel in the support. Jhin works very well with engage comps or champs that want to go in general. Especially good into double immobile backlines. Think Jinx, Orianna, or similar. Varus is pretty strong because you can play. He's pretty versatile. You can play on hit, which is good into low range comps, bruisers, and lethality, which is good against squishy champs and longer range champs as well. Kog'Maw is the best DPS from all the AD carries, but has very limited wave clear. Hard time playing into certain comps that aren't low range bruisers. So for this reason, he feels like a slightly worse Jinx, I would say. Caitlyn is a good answer to MF, Draven, Corki, Tristana. So if you want to counterpick those, you can go ahead with Caitlyn. She's also pretty strong right now. That's where I would be picking her. Okay, the champions in C tier are champions that I believe are not too good in the patch right now. I'll just quickly touch on why. I think for Samira, kind of need a duo Q. For Neela, it's good as a counter pick when you see a lot of auto attack based champions. Also benefits a lot from duo queuing with someone on bot lane. Kai'Sa, I think Kai'Sa is pretty weak because she is kind of left behind. None of her items get buffed, so she's kind of, a bit worse to every other AD carry that got buffed compared to Kai'Sa that didn't. Xayah, I think, suffers from very long ultimate CD and weak laning into most of the AD carries above. Pretty good, however, if enemy has champs like Nautilus, Vi, Kai'Sa, just full straight on sending it. So in that case, Xayah will be pretty good, but in general, not so good, in my opinion. Sivir, I think takes too long to get going. A weaker version of Jinx. Personally, I wouldn't recommend Sivir in solo queue. Vayne, the lower elo you are, the better Vayne gets. Personally, I think she's in a very weak spot on AD now due to losing most matchups and having not really a lot of wave clear. And the last tier is champions that I personally wouldn't be touching because they're in the pro play jail. And for those who don't know what the pro play jail means, is that Riot Games wants to keep these champions on low win rate because the second they're good in solo queue, they're completely smashing competitive play. So Riot Games kind of just, wants to keep them sitting in low win rates in solo queue, and therefore I kind of feel like you're shooting yourself a bit into the knee by playing them. But of course, this is just my opinions. You can play whatever you want, whatever makes you happy. That's what this game is about. This is just for people who want to get a little bit of an edge. This is how I feel. This is what I would be prioritizing if I were climbing right now, and what I am prioritizing. And that's it. That's the end of the video. I'll see you in the next one.